Reject!
She's still going to throw everything she has to get us out of the way. Gate Lord incoming.
So, Maya wants to return us to the Golden Age. The Ionians haven't talked about it. When was the Golden Age?
It ended centuries ago. There's reason to suspect the Ionian ancestors arrived before it began. Watching the world at the edge of the system.
What world?
Earth.
When?
What do you mean, when?
I mean, what do you mean the world ended?
There is no way you don't know.
Stop.
How long ago? How long? When did the world end?
So many records were wiped out. We don't have an exact number. Hundreds of years ago.
and gone. Are you kidding me? Just like that? There was an apocalypse, and it's ancient history, and that's it. I mean, didn't someone think that to etch a date in a stone or something helpful? There's no time capsules, there's no bunk just gone?
And I can't undo any of it.
Lodi, that would have never been possible. Surely you know this.
No. I don't know.
You're not the first person to wake up lost. I'll tell you what I tell the others. The Golden Age rose and fell. And then, so did the Dark Age. There were few of us then. And survival barely eked out. But we did. Humans live. We built the city. In time, there will be more.
There were hundreds.
I know. Can you tell me what you do remember?
What does it matter now? I'm sorry. I was... sorry.
It's such a simple question, but I know. I remember stars.
I hear you had a run-in with that Archon fellow. Or his cutouts, anyway. Apparently he's the leader of these exiled Elixni, but nobody's seen him in a long time. Real recluse. The Ionians say he can speak through the mouths of his followers. Like some kind of psychic thing. But that's absurd, right? Have you seen this little ventriloquist act? Huh. Well, I'll believe it when I see it myself. I suggest you do a little bang and burn to draw out their leadership. Once we know exactly who we're dealing with, we can do a more realistic threat assessment. I haven't been very deep into the Exiles' Accord. They aren't fond of visitors. This architecture seems a little out of the box.
We've dealt with the Lixley houses before, but this does feel different.
Lodi, I need to be frank. I don't buy your story.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the half of it. If I wasn't me, I also wouldn't buy my story.
What do you know about whatever brought you here?
Nothing. I woke up here in a singed suit after the most insane fall of my life. It seems the local Elixni had developed a parallel form of teleportation using dark matter to create portals. If we want to infiltrate their sphere of influence, we'll need that capability. Mr. Drifter says you've got the skills for a smash and grab, so I suggest we go loud. Get us a sample of that tech and we'll be in business.
This must be the House of Exile's new teleportation tech. It's mounted in an old cannon frame. That's handy. The scans show the power cell and space inverter have been tampered with. Those mechanisms have dark matter cores. They'll wear out fast. It looks like this mobile unit creates an entangled link between a jump pad and wherever you're aiming. Just be careful what you pointed at.
Good work out there. You've got some real moves. Normally, agents that skilled at wet work have checkered pasts. Makes me wonder how you came to be so dangerous. With expanded access, we can investigate those Elixni in earnest and find the truth about this so-called gun. I've got some ideas on that. Catch up with me later to get started.
All right, Guardian, this has to be the house's power plant. There's a massive current moving through the cables around us. And gravitons.
My informant Kielsk tells me that power is going straight into a warship.
If we can get to a power plant's controls while it's charging their ship, we can send a lethal surge to it from here before it ever leaves port.
Crafty. And it'll buy time to hunt down the Strangelet capsule in the Accord. If we stop the singularity from expanding, stabilize Kepler, maybe they'll stand down.
A fair chance we talk a psycho like that off a ledge. He's a true believer in whatever psychos believe in.
They aren't leaving us many options. We need to reach the anomaly.
Deathless, why have you come?
Glimpses are seen of your actions, but your motive ever shrouded. When my house found Saul, saw the great machine with your world, we left in defeated peace.
It looks like this station is actually drawing some form of power from these native cytocolonies. So, the slimes are their generators?
This whole place is wired like a rat's nest. That's worse than my ship.
The deathless was foretold. See how they must kill as prophesied. Give it a sight one of this final test. I'll be resilient, my house.
Guardian, patch me into a console and I can override that barrier.
Look alive, hero. They're piping in splinter mines. Crazy sons of crabs are gonna cause a damn cave-in.
You're on bomb defusal, Guardian.
Well, Vask sure likes to talk, making a show of us barging into his house. Maybe we pull his moxie out from under him and he lets...
In my day, you kill a fella fair without knowing the future.
You think he's really clairvoyant?
I think you gotta roll up and do that ball thing. Go on.
Like vile Vex, the Deathless is violence-driven. They cannot be turned away by reasoned words. Only blood.
Mighty Archon, we hear your prophecy. The Deathless kneels before the Giver with your blessing.
Just open the way.
Will what now?
This was not our tricks. You conspire with metal invaders to keep us from the Giver. To draw our house into folly. Most devout Basilisk, the work is done. Bring these walls down on the deathless. Show your Archon true faith. This world will slip into unknown spaces, as I have seen it. Exiles with it. Death is fated to be reborn.
Well, what's your next plan? Stand there with guns pointed at each other until someone gets cold feet?
So the Archon didn't take the bait, but he mentioned being kept from the Giver. Sounds like, despite their push to the Singularity, something's still cutting them off from it. That means we don't have to rush right in unless they make a move. Maybe there's somewhere else we can apply pressure.
You're a kid. Those things been shooting at you since you landed on this dump, and you still haven't pulled your piece.
That's right. Unlike you, I don't prefer a gun to solve my problems when questions work just as well.
Enough. We may have knocked out their power, but the Archon's still out there. We'll need to be ready when they make their next move.
I've been talking to that drifter fellow. Not a name I'd self-apply, but I like him. He understands what it's like to be stranded far from home. Anyway, he was telling me about these aliens who are giving the Ionians such a hard time, the Elixni. Apparently, they normally live on something called ether. Huh. Seems like you already have some experience with it. Interesting. The locals say these Elixni augment their supply with dark matter. Who knows what physiological effects that's having. Might be the reason they're so hostile. I suggest you assess their production lines. If we learn how the dark matter is affecting them, it might give us some leverage.
Team, I've got some intel from my informant.
Informant? Well, well. First it's a contact, then it's an informant. They're taking a liking to you.
Maybe a way to help the house calm down and see straight again. I'm sending coordinates, but keep on that heading.
Lodi, Drifter, checking in. How goes your recon on the House of Exile?
The Guardian's handling the situation well, but Miss Ray, to be honest, I don't like this. There has to be a way to de-escalate the situation.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've been watching the house from the derelict.